for all things Halloween. This is Hauntformer, and everyone, happy Valentine's Day.
I've been really trying, babe.
That was kind of awkward. Anyways, today, to celebrate this holiday, I'm going to be talking about a very fantastic Valentine's Day themed horror film. And while I wanted to talk about My Bloody Valentine, the titular Valentine's Day horror film, I've already reviewed it twice. So if you want to watch videos covering that film, please check out my videos on My Bloody Valentine and My Bloody Valentine 3D. So, with that said, today we're going to be talking about a film from one of my favorite all-time horror franchises, the Child's Play series, specifically the one that changed the tone of the series forever back in 1998. This film came out a week before I was born. That's right, we're talking about Bride of Chucky. So, where to begin with Bride of Chucky? Well, this was a change in the series from writer Don Mancini. The first three films were mostly horror with elements of comedy sprinkled throughout just because of the outlandish concept of a killer doll. But, of course, in the late 90s, Scream was the big go-to horror flick, and a lot of films, including the Child's Play films, wanted to replicate the horror comedy teen drama mix that Scream pulled off very, very well. And so we got Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. And it took all the way until Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky to bring the series back to more of a horror-grounded movie franchise. But the two films, Bride and Seed of Chucky, really spruced things up. And while most fans agree that Seed of Chucky is kind of the weakest of the Child's Play series, a lot of fans very much respect and love Bride of Chucky. So, is that love warranted, or am I just feeling good on Valentine's Day? Yes and no. Bride of Chucky follows a couple, a newlywed couple that really wants to fall in love and get away from their families and start a life together elsewhere. And of course, Chucky and his girlfriend Tiffany, who he had to put into a doll body via voodoo transfer, of course, sabotage their honeymoon and plans. And they begin to turn on one another with kind of a psychological aspect to the movie of Chucky and Tiffany making the humans think that each other is a murderer, which was pretty interesting and a pretty ingenious concept. And of course, you have the whole introduction to the film where Tiffany, played by Jennifer Tilly, discovers Chucky, brings him back to life, and Chucky, of course, killing her and putting her into the doll to find this amulet of Damballa that they have to dig up from Chucky's dead body. It's kind of a convoluted concept when you think about it, and when you consider that for the last three movies, they didn't once mention this amulet of Damballa. It's kind of a plot device, but you have to go along with it because this is a Chucky film. There's a lot of kills in the movie. Not all of them are fantastic. There's a particular honeymoon scene that I really thought was well done.
I love you.
But on the whole, Bride of Chucky is an enjoyable film. There are certainly its moments of comedy and horror, mostly comedy, because this film doesn't really try to scare you as much as it does try to entertain you. And it really focuses a lot on the human characters, which may or may not appeal to you, because they aren't focusing on the characters we've seen before, like Andy, but instead we're shifting now to a focus on these newlywed couples that we don't see any other time in the series. But one thing They talk a lot about Chucky and Tiffany and their relationship. We see Chucky a lot. And typically in horror movies, the killer's kind of reserved until certain scenes. You only see him in shadow. But in these movies, the animatronic dolls are just right in your face most of the film, which does lessen the impact of the murders. But at the same time, if you're into the cheese of watching Chucky and Tiffany bicker at one another, you'll certainly enjoy this movie. Is it a perfect horror film? No. Is it a guilty pleasure? Kinda. I do enjoy it. It's not my favorite of the bunch. Of course, I love the original series, and I also love Cult of Chucky, but other than those four, I would have to say Bride of Chucky is up there as one of the best of these weird horror comedies that came out of Scream. And deep down, a lot of 90s kids and early 2000s people really do cherish these movies. So with that said, Bride of Chucky, we secretly kind of love you. I'm going to give Bride of Chucky a 3 out of 5 skulls.
I'll be back. I always come back.
Thank you for watching this review. I hope you have a fantastic Valentine's Day. If you have a chance, get out there and watch Bride of Chucky. It is worth your time, especially for a die-hard Chucky fan. Thanks for watching, and remember, as always, for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.